kept rolling along. And I actually used the flip camera for the videotape. So it's kind of fun to use that now, so good way to introduce yourself to clients.
Yeah, she had a fabulous interactive recording of the video. Mike, you had 20 video clips in your presentation. Were they scripted in what you wanted them to say? And what video technology did you use?
I used to flip cam also, and
Can you pull the mic a little closer?
they definitely weren't scripted. It was probably a little tight, especially if, like Cheryl mentioned, I mean, it would be nice in today's market to probably go over a little bit more pricing and stuff. I think that was lacking a little bit in my presentation just for time-wise, but I don't think sellers want to be there for an hour and a half either, so I think it's good to try to keep it short and to the point too, so it was good to implement that.
Right, and by having it pre-prepared and not flying by the seat of your pants, because I think when we go into our listing presentations and we just have a couple of our pieces of paper and our comps and stuff like that then the sellers kind of take over the conversation, right? They lead us down these paths, and then we get stuck in whatever dead end, and we leave and we can meet the listing or whatever. So when you have it like this, it's great to have their interaction, but it's a little bit more controlled. So we have them going down our path and not their path, and that was a big difference by honing in on this. So yes, we're not going to have everything embedded in there. We will have to jump around a little bit, but at least you're in control. And then I know we talked a lot about the focus is coming off of us and on the iPad, right? Everybody's looking at the iPad. But if you practice it and if you know it, they end up looking at you and only looking at the slide when you look at the slide. So, I mean, I really kind of found a much smoother, streamlined interaction versus going off in all these tangents, and then I'm there for 2 hours. So it did help go into 30 minutes.
And I think
This presentation contest changed anything in your 2011 business planning strategies? If so, what?
Well, I plan on not being dead.
You already started coaching. I know Candace has been in intense coaching. She's off and running.
Yeah.
Anyone else change for 2011?
Well, it's really fun when you start updating your stuff. So whether it's cleaning your office or updating your presentations, now I'm starting with something new. So again, going back to the last couple of years, I mean, how many of us go into our listing presentations like, oh, you're upside down, we're going to have this, or I'm going to go for 10% lower than the market value. It's like, you walk out of it not feeling good. So now I'm all excited that I know nobody else is going in with this. It's something new and refreshing, and I'm so excited about it that I know that's going to come through. And I'm looking forward to my listing presentations and not like, oh my God, I got to go on another one.
I'm prepared.
I'm so excited, and now I can't wait. And now I'm looking for people I can go share it with. So it's a big motivator.
It's awesome. Last question. We did a lot on scripts and dialogues over our last several years with workshops, action workshops. And now there's the new words that work. And all of you had incredible dialogues. If you could just take snippets of what they said, it would be a learning experience for everyone sitting in the room. But tell me about if you use words for work or how you did your dialogues. Anyone?
Yeah, I took some things out of the words at work, and one of the reasons why I entered the contest was because I wanted to get an electronic presentation and also practice it. And it really does force you to practice your presentation and practice those phrases and those words where normally you don't do that. You're just doing it in front of sellers or buyers, and it made a huge difference for me just to practice. I mean, I probably did it 10, 15 times just by myself, and I think it hopefully helps.
It helps you internalize it when you practice it, but it helps too when you have a situation and then you practice it. Because we've had these scripts where not necessarily
The new ones are new.
The new ones are good.
Yeah.
So the one that I just loved out of this presentation was when you're going for 7% or whatever you go for, and they go, oh, you're 1% higher than everybody else, and I'm like, well, I'm not everybody else. I'm not the average agent. I mean, that's so easy to say. And so I didn't really even have to internalize that. And then there's a bunch more lines that go after that because they keep hitting you, right? Well, can't you do it for less? You can't. So anyway, so it was really helpful to have that and work that in and practice it to this situation, because now it just comes out like normal. Like I've always known it and I believe it and it's there, and they're like, oh, okay.
All right. Aren't they awesome? Congratulations to our winners. In the hot tub. And you used Prezi for your presentation. How was it to use, and will you continue to use it?
Yeah, we did have to sacrifice that tie for the presentation. Yeah, Prezi was something we came across, and it has a little bit of a learning curve to it. It's different than a PowerPoint presentation. That's what we wanted, something a little more unique, a little more edgy. Once you get into it, it's pretty user-friendly. It's adaptable. You can change the paths, change the slides. So there's a lot of good things with it. It's a little ironic that I won the technology and creativity part of it, because I'm not that technologically savvy. But
Be a good coaches.
But it does show that people that maybe are a little more seasoned and set in their ways. If you have people around you to help you with it. Jeff that works with me and Tina and with the videos, so you can get people around you and make me look like I'm a technical expert.
Rock star.
And in reality, maybe I'm not. So my clients know that.
Great job to all of you. Okay, this is for anyone on the panel. What was the biggest challenge in this process, and how much did it change from your former presentation?
Well, I can say that mine changed, 95%. Because what Brian would say is I had a folder that had some stuff in it, but I probably didn't even know what was in it. So it was such an energizer to go through this process, because I had nothing, going by the seat of my pants usually, and it just feels so good, and I feel so confident to go in front of anybody with this presentation now. So it was a great energizer.
Great, thanks. Anyone else on that question? Any revolution?
But it was, in the past, for 15 years we've used a book, presentation, so it was a big challenge to switch over to the technology part of it. But it did, make you aware of a lot of the things that the company offers, with the application. And, you have to learn about it and really get to know it. So it was good in that sense that forced us to learn the new things that the company offers, which is great.
Okay, great. If you could do it again, is there anything you would have done differently, added, changed? Sure.
I would have added more on the pricing challenges. The last couple of years we've been just dealing with price. So it was really nice to add back in, because the first presentation I did in 2005, it was all about cold banker, because I'd only been in the business 2 years, so I had to use that. Well, now that I've got experience, and now I'm kind of battle-worn like we all are, the timing of this really didn't allow for a little bit more into the comparisons and a little bit more objections towards the pricing.